This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. If you want Magic singles or sealed product, use my link in the description. Everyone, we're doing our first draft for Edge of Eternities. This is an early access draft. Thanks to Wizards of the Coast for inviting me. This pack looks pretty strong to me. Tragic Trajectory is great. It's a good removal spell anyway. Honored Knight Captain gives you 2 bodies and can search up equipment later. And there are a couple good targets for it to search for. This card is worse than it was when I did the set review because they errated it. You could originally target any creature with the +1/+0 and does damage equal to its power thing. But they changed it to target creature you control, which makes it a little bit worse. It's still a pretty good card. What else we got here? I don't love this rare. It's a terrible rare. Asks way too much of you. It's a cool card. The concept's great. Flavor's great. But the design for playability and limited matters. I think we're just going to take the Trajectory. It seems too good not to. This is one of those Void cards that's good even when it doesn't have Void. So, you know, I think that's where we go here. Okay, we have another pretty good card here in Vote Out. A Convoke removal spell. Closed Encounter's pretty good. It does, you know, it's cool because they made it a fight-like spell, a bite-like spell, but if your creature dies, it still does the damage because it's paid as part of the cost. You know, I don't hate the Gravepack Monoist or Dark Endurance, but I don't think I like either of them as much as I like Vote Out. Black-White in particular can probably use this the best because Convoke is, you know, that deck's Go Wide, and Convoke is good with Go Wide. I think we're just going to stick with black, take another good removal spell. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This is okay, I think. It's not as bad as Stroke of Midnight and the like, because your opponent doesn't get a body at least, but you do still give him back a card, so I think it's just an adequate spell and limited. Okay. So these 2 black cards aren't amazing. You know, if you have a lot of bodies to sack to this, it gets better, of course. And theoretically, if we ended up in black-white, we would. This is just like a filler card for the artifact decks. Seam Rip, you know, it's an enchantment-based portable hole, which is fine. Are we going to start with 3 removal spells? I don't think so. Although, maybe. I do like Lash Whip Predator. Don't hate this Worm, but yeah, I don't think we're taking a black card here just because I think these are both kind of a step behind some of the other cards in this pack. I think we're going to go with the Predator. It's just like a solid creature, and you can frequently cast it for like 4, which is nuts. So I think we'll go for it. Okay, Dark Endurance is a good trick. It's not, you know, like most tricks, it's not a high pick, but it is a good one. Don't think this is very good. The joke is that you can warp this and then put 9 charge counters on a spacecraft, but that's like all it does. That's a little bit too narrow, I think. Lightstall Inquisitor's not bad. You know, it's a disruptive 1-drop. Don't hate the Fate Maker either. You know, with Warp, it gives you significant value. I think it's about as good as the Inquisitor, honestly, so I think we'll take the green card because we already have 1 green card. So black-green's supposed to be a graveyard deck. It's like the only pure graveyard deck in the format. We'll see how pure graveyard we go. Okay, so here's one of these equipments that you can search up with that 2-mana 1/1 that I mentioned in the set review. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice to grab. Perigi Beckoner is okay. I think this is okay too because it is usually going to give you something up front. So it's one of those spacecrafts that does that. But do I like the Beckoner enough? I don't think that I do. I think these boosters are probably the pick here. 5-mana 3/4 flyer with a bunch of upside is definitely pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Yeah, it also gives you 2 artifacts. Is the other thing the boosters do. Okay. All right. So, some nice options here, I think. Caesarian Voidborn has one of those aristocrat effects, which gets pretty good in a lot of board states. Thawbringer, just nice value because of Surveil 2. And the Beamsaw Prospector is an okay 2-drop, spits out a lander. So if we have like a sacrifice theme, I think I want to try out this Voidborn. It does have worse stats. Like we just had one in Final Fantasy that was a 2/3, but it didn't come with Warp, which means you can do something with this earlier sometimes, or trigger Void. All right, I think we take the Grove Strider here, and I think we're kind of locked in now on black-green, barring something changing. Just a huge finisher that's hard to kill because of Ward 2. Hard to kill efficiently, I should say. It's not that hard to kill, but making your opponent pay a bunch of mana to kill it usually means it uses up their whole turn. So we could use some 2-drops and things. We have passed a few. I do like Honor. I think it's kind of a sneaky good card. It just does 2 things. Like, it's worth more than a card of value, and it's worth more than a mana of value, I think. Not by a lot, but by enough. Also helps set up double spelling in the blue-white deck. I do like this Land Seeker a fair bit. Is there a world where I sort of head in a different direction? I think we'll just take the black card here. I do like that Land Seeker, though. Yeah, the Thaw Seeker, if, you know, black-green is a graveyard deck. Right now we don't really have any synergy, but we could. I think I like a 3-mana 3/3 reach a little more than the 3-mana, you know, hurt you divination with Void upside. So yeah, we need some low drops. I mean, I kind of like our top curve, just having two big boys. I like this Monoist coming back. I'm definitely taking that. You pay 3 mana and get a 2/1 and a 2/2. Not at the same time, of course. That would be completely insane. But you do get both out of one card, so I like it more than those green cards. All right, we'll grab a heavy now. Yeah, I didn't like either of these cards in the set review. Not shocked that they're still there. It doesn't really mean anything about red, I don't think. Another Dark Endurance, sure. Don't know that we're going to play both. And we get a Nutrient block, too. Okay. So, the Endstone is interesting. I gave it an F in my set review. It's a 7-mana card that doesn't usually do anything immediately. And I don't think it's great because of that. But if you get to untap, you can kind of go crazy. So it's tempting. I might take it to try it out. We're not giving up a ton here in our colors right now. Like, the best card in this pack is probably Tapestry Warden, or the Pollinator can be okay. I think we're going to take the Endstone and see what happens. This happened in the last early access too, where I took a card I gave an F to just to try it out. Did not go well. It was Zodiark. This has way more potential, I think, than Zodiark. Okay, so we've got an Extinguisher Battleship too. Right now, we're not great at ramping, but between the Endstone and Extinguisher Battleship, I'm pretty tempted, you know. And this is early access. Playing some big ol' expensive cards sounds interesting. We need to find some lander tokens and stuff. But, you know, I think this is strong. Destroys a non-creature, and then does 4 to everything, and then becomes a big scary creature without that much effort. I do like these lands, but this one obviously doesn't really overlap with us in any way, shape, or form. So I think we'll take the Battleship here. There are a couple green cards that would probably be better, but it's early access. Oh, we got one of these too. Not good in limited. I think I gave an F to like 8 of the 10 special guests. They are super rare though, so it's cool to see one. No ramp to be had here. I mean, this kind of ramps if you have enough self-mill. But I think I'd rather just take Grav Kill. Just, you know, if we're going to try to win the game with these big, silly cards, probably need a bunch of removal. So, and ramp, of course. We do need a 2-drop pretty badly. That's something else we're going to need to get to the later stages of the game. So I think we'll take the Stinger here. I do think this is actually a playable in the right deck, because there are like 18 insects in the set, several common and uncommon, so you can regenerate them. But yeah, we'll take the Stinger here. I don't really like the Skittermaw or that discard spell. They both have horrible baselines, and Void worries me enough about getting it online that I don't really want to do it. So I need ramp real badly. Still not getting any, huh? I think I'm going to take Depressurize here. You know, it's not a 2-drop creature, but it'll let us kill most 2-drops. And I think that works for me. We're not that good at taking advantage of the Voidborn, and we already have one. So, yeah, we'll take Depressurize. We have a lot of removal, which isn't, you know, in most formats, it's not a bad place to be. In formats with too many powerful cards with interest triggers that generate 2-for-1 no matter what, cards that make multiple bodies, removal can, you know, drop a notch. You know, we had a format once where murder was like a C-. So it can happen. So this is an interesting one. It's kind of a defensive card. It also stations your spacecraft. We don't actually have any of those. Well, we do have the Extinguisher Battleship, I guess. And it is a 1-drop. I need low drops. Can trade for anything. I mean, Thawbringer and Tapestry Warden are interesting, but I actually think I am going to take this thing. All right, we'll take another Monoist here. Cascading Cataracts isn't for us. So we may not be able to ramp. Our plan may just be to kill everything and then get one of these online. That might be the plan. Okay, here's a little bit of ramp. I'll grab this Pollinator. This one's interesting to me because they gave it such a good interest trigger, but it's perhaps the least impressive of all of the spacecraft, when at least at uncommon or higher, when it becomes a creature. Pack 1, pick 1 was Tragic Trajectory. All right, I think we take a Tapestry Warden now. The one awkward thing about the Battleship is you can't, like, station it in response or anything like that. I think we'll take another Monoist. We're not going to be that good with tricks at this point. Just cards that make multiple bodies are, I think, where we want to be. We'll take a Grav Blade Heavy now. Let's see. We might actually end up with enough insects. This is the color pair that has the most insects, I believe. Black-green. How many do we have right now? Just 2. Okay. Another Depressurize. Scrounge for Eternity is a little bit interesting. It is one way to get a lander token, but you need, you know, something to reanimate. Do I just take another Depressurize here? I don't think blue-green has the most insects. I think black-green does. I'm like 99% sure anyway from when I did the archetype guide. I looked it up. There's 1% chance that I am wrong, though. I'm not so confident that, yeah. We'll just take another Depressurize. Just give us all the removal. You know, like another Tragic Trajectory. Yeah, all right. Yeah, there's no typal deck in this format, which is, I feel like it's been a while since there hasn't really been any of that. But yeah, I do like Hull Carver just because it blocks so well. I have so much removal already that just having a low drop that can trade for anything is probably what I want to do at this point. So, Tragic Trajectory number 3. Yeah, all right. I don't have enough fixing. Like, even if it had just blue in its mana cost, I wouldn't be able to play the Sphinx at this point because we don't have fixing. So, other than our Gene Pollinator, but, you know. Swarm Color, Fate Maker. Don't love Melt Strider's gear. I don't hate Swarm Color. It is an insect for in case our Swarm Yard. I kind of feel like the Fate Maker might just be better, even in our deck, which isn't that good with counters. We do, I guess, have 3 Grav Pack Monoists, though. Yeah, let's take the the color. It may not make the cut, but it does work well with the monoists. I don't love Hemosymbic Might. Could take a 4th monoist, though. I'm surprised this card's getting around as much as it is. Command Bridge would give us fixing, but we don't really need it. Just playing 4 of these seems like a pretty good thing to me. I guess we'll see. So that land doesn't help us. Thawbringer's not bad. We could probably, yeah, I mean, it gives us a 3-drop that's certainly playable. Yeah, you know, I probably should have grabbed a couple of those 2-mana 2/1s who die into landers. I don't love the card, but in this particular deck where we're playing the Instone and Extinguisher Battleship, you're probably right. So this is a 2-drop. We kind of have our top curve ready to go. I mean, I could take a Germinating Worm, but I think I'm just going to take a 2-drop, even though it's one I don't love. Reminds me too much of the 1-mana 1/1 with Ward, who could put counters on itself from Bloomburrow, maybe, which was not a good card. Yeah. So we have a bunch of removal and some big flashy cards at the top of our curve. That's basically the deck. That is the deck. Don't think we play Dark Endurance here. We're not exactly like, you know, these tricks are almost always not worth playing if you're not aggressive, because even though this one has a discount, if you use it when a creature's blocking, they're just so risky when your opponent has mana up and it's still their turn and they have, you know, maximum number of cards in hand. So they're way better to use on offense. Singularity Rupture is kind of interesting. Don't have enough fixing to play it, but, you know, big wrath effects. So it would have been nice to pick up some ramp, but I feel like overall our deck's pretty good just because it's filled with so much removal. So I don't think we want to play Grav Blade Heavies. How many artifacts do we have? We have 6. It's probably not really enough. And we need to cut some 4s out of this thing for sure. Do I like Swarm Color? I mean, in a world where I have 4 monoists, I think maybe I do. These 2 cards are very similar in their appearance, and they have the same mana cost and type line. This one's an assassin too. The Fate Maker's not doing anything special in our deck. And it's not like we're playing a 1-drop that often that it can put a counter on. I think we cut Fate Maker here and Swarm Color. We want to be able to do stuff early with like cheap removal and bodies that generate value, but we don't want a bunch of like mid-rangey creatures, I don't think. And Sky Stinger is probably the last cut. I do like it more than I like a card like the Tenderfoot, but I'm low enough. Maybe I'm not. I can kill a bunch of stuff early. And I have 3 1-drops. Yeah, maybe I would rather leave the Warden in. How many cards with higher toughness and power do we have? Not that many, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's still a 4-mana 4/4 Vigilance. So, you know. I don't know that I want to cut any monoists. Like, it's just a better card than Intrepid Tenderfoot is. Like, so if I'm going to cut something, it's going to be that. All right. Well, these do make artifacts, you know, for that 4/4. It's kind of like we have more artifacts. Maybe I want that more now that I think about that. I think I do want the heavy more than the Warden. I do have lots of 3s, it's true, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Okay. I don't think playing Vote Out is particularly sus. I mean, the floor on it is 4, kill something. And it'll often do more than that. So, be cheaper than that, I mean. So. Okay, well, there's some of those monoists. I mean, I think this hand's a keep. I think, you know, we do need to draw a third land, but we're kind of in business if we get it. Yeah, I think we bolt the bird here, especially because we drew another tragic trajectory. All right, I think we bolt this bird too here. I think this is a lot of what our deck's going to do, but if we don't draw a third land, we're in for some trouble here. Ugh. Okay. It hurts. Are you serious right now? Yeah, it is a cool battleground. It looks sort of like out of Tron. Yeah, we might just be dead if we, especially. Oh boy, it does look rough that I played what I did, but it's not like drawing a third land would have solved like all of our problems. So we're just dead on board next turn. Okay. Yep, we did. Well, that was a fun game of Magic. Okay, it's a similar 2-mana hand. What's going to happen here? We'll never draw a third land, perhaps? Okay, we at least drew something that adds to the board, unlike last game. Oh, thank goodness. Our lands showed up. So, yeah, I think we go ahead and kill this thing. Attack for 1. We would like to see some more lands still, of course, but getting to 3 feels like a really good... It's a good feeling. So this is the kind of card that makes removal feel bad, because it makes the body that it makes up front. And, like, I could kill it, but I think because it's already done what it's going to do, it's already generated value, it's way better for us to just add a body to the board than bother with Galactic Wayfarer. Yeah, it is a card we wish we got. Might be the best common in the set. I mean, I think trading Hull Carver for it is okay. I'll take the 3. I think holding on to this to block something more relevant at some point is probably better. Okay. So let's attack with our Monoist. Depressurize is an instant. So So I'm trying to decide if I'd like to pressurize the pangolin now or later. Problem is that the counter... Yeah, I can at least wait until they tap both lands. I think waiting until they tap both these lands for their lander is probably worth it. Yeah. Because that way they don't have anything online. They could have grabbed an artifact land. No, they couldn't have. It's it only grabs basics. So at this point, I think trading our Hulk Harbor for this is fine. We have another removal spell in our hand and a big creature, so just getting rid of things, another Death Touch creature on the board, just getting rid of things seems worthwhile. Yeah, that card is great, and I'm very glad I'm going to kill it now because it has an insane landfall trigger. I think it's going to be one of the best uncommons in the set. Do we vote it out? I mean, this is an instant, so I think we do. Even though this can cost less at a later date. Although, if they're just gonna... If they just decide to... No, this is an enter trigger. Never mind. Yeah. So we'll vote out here. That's where removal feels good. When you kill a 6-drop, even for 4 mana, it feels really good. Ooh, they're out of stuff to do. Luckily for them, at least, we didn't draw a 5th land, because if we did, it would be lethal next turn, but we can kill almost anything they play here. Alright, there's our 5th land. So yeah, I think we run this out. Chances aren't great that they have a Wrath or anything like that, so... Things went a little differently when we drew lands. We still have had problems drawing them, though. Which is interesting. Which isn't great for our 7-drop and 8-drop. If I were being really responsible, I probably wouldn't run both of them, or either of them, maybe. But they're cool cards. Okay. Have an early drop. Might be able to drop this extra early. Some card selection, one of our mini good removal spells. We want to go up against opponents playing that Bruntar and things like that. You know, that's what we want. Big old creatures. Probably depressurize whatever they play here. Yep. There's our Grave Strider. I think we put almost anything in the graveyard that isn't in a land off of Thawbringer's trigger just because we really need lands. Yeah, that definitely goes there, sadly. We don't want to draw an 8-drop when we have 3 lands right now. So... them having to use Banishing Light on a Thawbringer feels pretty good. So does drawing a 4th land. So, are they going to kill my Hulk Harbor and let me draw 2 cards? Really? Okay. I like that. Yeah, I don't think we fire off Grav Kill here. It doesn't really seem worth it. I think we do run out this Grove Strider now. I'm surprised this isn't a dinosaur, although I guess, you know, at a glance it looks like it's a sauropod, but it's got something else going on. Like it's very alien looking, which I think is the point. I think we take this because there's a decent chance they have like another one or a trick or void. So I don't really see a reason to block when we have this much life and a pretty good hand. I don't know. The more I look at it, I still think it should be a dinosaur, even if it does have like a weird, thin-looking head. This is an interesting card. It puts a counter on one of my things every time it attacks, but it's also a 2-mana 4/1 with Menace. so it's kind of scary. Let's see. What do I want to do here? So I could play a creature and cast Vote Out. This does make me discard, but I think it's probably just going to be better to attack with our Grove Strider. Yeah, let's attack with our Grove Strider here. And I think we run this out. I'd much rather like trade for Faller's Faithful with a card that gives me a body, so. But this is a little scary. It does buff our creatures, but they choose what gets buffed. So, and it has Menace. Like, I think there's a good chance here. Ooh, that card's so good. That's another candidate for best uncommon in the set. I am going to be able to get it back. Oh, it's also... That's hilarious. Sunset Saboteur won't put its counter here if because this has Ward. That's wild. Okay, so we definitely need to kill this thing because now that we're aware of that ridiculous combo. All right, so we'd have to discard a card. I think we just go ahead and discard this land and cast Vote Out on the Saboteur. I mean, making our Strider a 6/6 is good and all, but... yeah, we'll attack with both of these. Kill this. Well, that's the kind of thing you don't really think about until you play a format. That your opponent can just, like... nullify your creature like that. So, because there are enough annoying tricks and stuff in the format, I think we just kill the Stalker here. Yeah, so we'll kill the Stalker here. Attack for 2 first. I don't want to wait until they have mana available. And if they want to get it out of the way again, they have to spend significant mana on something, which hopefully gives us the time to kill them. Yeah, I don't feel like Ward was intended to work that way, but it would be really annoying if it was like... unless it's a positive effect. They can't really word it that way, you know. But yeah, I've never thought about it working that way because you don't see that many cards that are like that 2-mana 4/1 Menace is. Ooh, they go for the attack here. I mean, I think I get it. I mean, I go to 1, but then I attack. I swing on the backswing. They have to block my Grove Strider. Yeah, I think we just take it. Oh. I didn't expect them to have a trick. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have. We weren't in a great spot once that Servandum came down. That's for sure. Maybe I should have assumed it was going to be lethal, you know. Otherwise, why would they attack? But I mean, that's part of what made it confusing. It's not a terrible attack anyway because of the way the board state was. So I wonder if I should have held back my 2/1 flyer more. Because if it was just hanging around and able to block that thing, it probably would have gone better for us, I think. Another 2-mana hand. But we do have 2 Tragic Trajectories. I mean, I think it's fine. I could warp this just for fun on turn 1. That's a spider on my shoulder, yeah. It's just the cord for my headphones. Yeah, well, if the Saboteur would work how I thought it was going to work, which is had to put a counter on something, things would have gone a little better for us. But yeah, that's not how it works when you have Ward. Our opponent has the perfect mana with no fixing so far. That's always frustrating. Yeah, all right. Interesting. I wonder if they have counter magic. Let's run out our heavy. It needs a bombard. Okay. We will vote out this thing. We can set up Tragic Trajectory with our Voidborn if they play something big. And right now, it's not like the Voidborn is doing anything. Ooh, yeah. That's not that big, but I do have to kill it. So we are going to do the warp here, just so that I can kill the Imago. It is sad we only have the black mana we have, so I can't play the Monoist too. So yeah, we get rid of that thing though, which I think is pretty important overall. Pretty cool animation for warp. I like that card. Ooh, look at the value. Luckily for us, they can't add anything to the board, but still pretty sweet. And, you know, they'll start grabbing lands. Pretty good card right there. Yeah, stun that. Oh, they decided not to cast it, though? I guess they want the trigger more than once. I think I would have just cast it in their current position. Yeah, I think we bottom that. Yeah, the tiered spells had really cool reanimations and, like, retro sound effects, which was cool. These haven't felt great. I mean, it's a small sample size, for sure. But they haven't felt great. I'm going to hold on to this land in case we ever draw our important cards. I think we just block here. People have said that about lander tokens, but honestly, I don't think it's that hard to come up with a way to use them outside of a sci-fi set. Because they have the word land in them. There's no reason a lander can't be some other kind of device that isn't a spacecraft. You know what I mean? So I think it'll work. You know, it'll take a certain setting maybe, but not. There's not no other setting you can use a lander in, I guess, is what I would say. Okay. Well, I think we go ahead and attack for 4 here and then play our Predator. There's a counter spell that makes you pay 2, so that's why I played out the land. I also, you know, think just paying out the land is pretty good. Yeah, you could use it in a pirate set. I mean, I think like a world like Bloomburrow, like the rabbits building something called a lander that does things with land wouldn't be completely crazy, I don't think. All right, I think we're going to attack with everything here. I keep thinking this is an attack trigger when it is in fact not. So I think we just attack with our Predator and our Stinger, probably. It looks like they have something to say about that. Okay. Well, now I don't think we attack because I would trade my Stinger pretty happily for that. We're holding on to the land in case we draw our egg. Yeah, the 2-mana 2/2 from Duskmourn with an attack trigger, yeah. It is reminiscent of that card. So we can play our lander right now, or our big space station, but it wouldn't be that good, is the bad news. All right, let's go to combat here. I'm going to attack with both of these, see what happens. Yep, Ixalan. There are places you can use it, for sure. I mean, they found ways to use blood that isn't only vampires. Okay. Close encountered. Now, that does mean I could just kill their Mechanozoa with this, and I think we probably do. We may not have another chance to turn that into a removal spell that can kill a big thing. All right. Another Monoist. So we've got lethal on board. Why aren't they cracking their lander to thin out their deck? They would increase their chances of not drawing nothing, but they did get flooded out there for sure. Yeah, I think they chose Lander for a reason. Like, for that reason, probably. Because they could have called it a lot of other things. Are they called Landers? The spacecraft, like on the... words. The... spacecraft that we have on rovers. They could have called them, like, rovers. That would have been a lot harder to, to work. That's the word I was looking for. rovers. Okay. Drew 2-drop. I like it. Nothing we can do with this mana, so we'll smash in for 1. I do keep forgetting to give things Death Touch, although it's not like it's mattered at all on what we've played so far. This is the first time we haven't had, like, Tragic Trajectory ready to go before something becomes a problem. I can vote out the Evangel. But I'm not that worried about it, I don't think. I think we just attack with our Death Toucher here. Let them trade if they want to. Then play our Thawbringer. Okay. I like it. Because that thing can grow in the right deck. Do I want to draw this? I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it either, is the thing. But we're not desperate for lands, and it gives us another body that can probably trade, and I think we win a game that comes down to that sort of thing. Yeah, that's annoying. We've been playing them all day, but now that someone else has. I do think I'm okay with trading my Thawbringer for it. I get a Surveil trigger. Not as good as a robot, but... Alright, I do think we put this in the graveyard. Then we play out our Monoist. And our Monoist. I think Explorer is deciduous at this point, isn't it? I guess maybe it only shows up on Commander products or something. Yeah, I think this is the best, pretty much the best planet for Limited. Which is good for them. Not so good for us. We can only do 3 damage at a time right now, so... Not loving that. This one, once it gets stationed enough, starts spitting out robots and buffing your whole board. So... I wonder if this is even worth playing in a deck that doesn't care that much about artifacts and only has 1 spacecraft. It might not be. I mean, I like the idea of it trading for, like, their 4-drop, but like I said in the set review, against tokens, something like this feels horrible. I can use it for Convoke, if nothing else, but... Yep. We're going to kill that. But now they can... See, this is good to see, because we're not getting to do it at all in our deck, but I think it's very clear that it's actually not that hard to station things. Like, granted, we don't have them under that much pressure in this particular situation, but this was a new creature, and this suddenly has 9 counters, you know, so... Yeah, so we'll attack for 3, then we'll kill the Voidforged Titan. We'll vote it out. I don't see a reason to tap our Sentry, so we won't. But this is awfully close to doing its thing. In fact, there's a good chance it will do a thing this turn. Well, get to 12 anyway. It may not use its ability yet. I'm going to be kind of sad if we don't get to play the Endstone at all. Oh, God, that card's good. Yeah, that's good. Another candidate for maybe best uncommon in the set. Oof. Yeah. we're in trouble because they can start activating this. I think we attack with both of these and kill the circuit feeder if they'll let us. It is a 2-for-1, but the more bodies they have, the deadlier Kavaran is. Oh, you. All right, so we're just going to kill the 2-2 then. Yep. They can hit us pretty hard. Let's see. I mean, I'm pretty much dead unless they let me kill one of these. I don't think they're going to, unfortunately. I think they'll just take 3 because they know they can block that for free, so I guess that makes sense. I guess I'd kill the Scrapper if that's how things go. Yeah. Still not good for us, though. It's kind of a bummer we played as many games as we did, and we never even saw their, saw our egg thing, which is a bummer. We did see our spacecraft a couple of times, but it was not at good times for that card, which I don't think there are that many of. All right. Now we are officially done attacking. Hey, if they drop me below 10 here, and I get the in-stone, that would be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. That would be nice. Yep. But hey, it is nice to see one of these go off. And again, we didn't have our opponent under any sort of significant pressure, so it's not the best example maybe, but okay, well, at least we drew it and get to play it, and we go up to 10. Too bad they can still kill us. What a bummer to draft that card because I wanted to give it a chance. And then have it show up at the last minute. You know, if only our board wasn't empty and theirs didn't have more than 10 damage, it would have been interesting. A little more interesting, but didn't quite get there. Super early takeaways. I mean, it's hard to have a ton of them. The removal mostly feels pretty good, especially Depressurize and Tragic Trajectory. They just kill really efficient things. This felt a little underwhelming, but it was hard to get a full feeling for it. So did this. I mean, this kind of effect is narrow enough. We did use it once to set up a Tragic Trajectory, but that was about it. Grove Strider felt pretty good. That weird interaction with +1/+1 counters wasn't a lot of fun, though. And, you know, the Battleship especially probably shouldn't have played at 8 mana with very little ramp. But hey, it would have been cool if we had played it, but we didn't.